In our last video, we spoke about the importance of including actuals in your financial model. Now we're going to discuss how exactly you do that each and every single month. Well, first, let's talk about a few fundamental concepts when you include actuals in your financial model. First and foremost, you're going to need to have a new named range called last month of actuals. And that last month of actuals will need to showcase what actual date you have for your latest month of actuals. The idea is that in order to actualize your financial statements, you're going to import the new financials into your source tabs, which will then update your drivers tab. Now, because our drivers tab is split between actuals and projections with different formulas, we'll then want to take this information, copy it, and paste over so that all of these formulas correctly pull from our new source of actuals. But there's a huge challenge in updating our financial model with actuals. And that is the fact that you may have new accounts in your chart of accounts in your accounting software, or even worse, accounts that may have been rearranged. And when that happens, it could be pretty tricky to update that information into our financial model. In this example, I have an export from my accounting software with actuals all the way through January 2025. Now, notice I didn't just include January 2025 financials. Instead, I exported my financials with information from my start date in my financial model, January 2023. The reason that I did that is oftentimes, if you have an active account in, let's say, January 2023 that isn't active in January 2025, your accounting software is going to hide that row. But remember, we want the structure to be identical. The best case scenario could be that I take this information and I just copy and paste it into the source, and then copy that last month of actuals column in the drivers tab, one column over, and everything updates. Let's see what happens if I actually take this information and do that. So I'm going to go to my balance sheet over here, and I will select all of the data. And now I'm going to go into my file, which has December 2024 actuals, and I'll go to my balance sheet source. And now I'm just going to take the information and paste it in as such. Okay, so it looks like everything here is matching up. Everything is good. Okay, wait a minute. As you can see, we now have an issue, and the total liabilities and owner's equity no longer lines up with this value. The reason for that is because I have a new account. So I'd like to first identify what are the new accounts by using, let's say, a countifs function. Now, we'll go over that in our interactive session, but the general idea is that I go to my source file over here, and I analyze each of the actual cells over here to see if it's contained inside my file. So let's just do that. I'm going to say equals countif. Now, I want to count if the range in the file where I'm going to be importing my information. You'll notice that contains an external reference, which is okay because I don't necessarily need this file. I want to count if this over here is included. I'll close the parentheses and I'll say equals. And it looks like it does. Now I'll just copy and I'll drag it all the way down and I'll see which one has a false. Over here, I got my first false. So now I can understand the fact that the line of credit doesn't actually equal in the file that I'm going to be importing the information into. So I'll need to now update the information on my drivers tab and my balance sheet tab. Now remember, because your balance sheet flows into your cash flows, you'll also need to add a line on your cash flows tab. On your income statement, if we're importing that, we just need to update the drivers and income statement, since all the cash flow pulls from the income statement is the net income line item. There's one other trick that I like to do in order to understand if my positions of each account match up one by one. And for that, I like to just say, does this account equal the account in the file that I'm going to be bringing in? And I'm going to remove these dollar signs over here. And it looks like it does match. Let's drag it down. Let's press Control V and let's double check. Aha! Now, as you can see, not only do we have a false under the line of credit, but all of these items over here no longer match up. So now I know that I need to add these lines, and then I could simply copy and paste the information and drag forward my new month of actuals in the drivers tab. And now that we're familiar with how to include actuals in our financial model, let's talk about projections.